everyone. We are painting the sunflower for Mother's Day. You can see the picture here. It's got a beautiful purple background and we have some bright petals. So we're going to show you how to mix all of those colors. My name is Catherine and I'm excited to be painting with you for Mother's Day. So I have two brushes. I have a big brush, which is kind of a flat brush, and then I also have a little brush for details, and it's technically a round brush. I'm going to put them in the water and let's get started. All right, we are going to work on the background first. I'm going to take equal parts blue, this is a dark blue, and red. You don't need to rinse your brush in between, just go on the edge of the pile. And this is going to be a very dark purple. It almost looks black. I'm going to take a little bit of this off to the side because I want to use it when we do the center. And then I'm going to take just a little bit of white and add it in because we're going to add in white as we go. Maybe a little more. But this is a very dark sort of grape color. Okay, so I've got a little bit of white in there. And this is a very brushy background, so don't go near the petals yet, but start up in the corner, and what you want to do is make short strokes and in different directions. So you're going to be twisting your brush. It can be kind of haphazard. You're putting this first purple color around, and don't worry if it's not, I don't know if you can see that, but I can see some blue that's not quite mixed in. That's completely fine. We can actually add blue on its own as well as red and the white just to make different colors of purple. So I'm adding this first shade of purple all around. I am working kind of fast because we want to put these other colors into this color while it's still wet. All right, so I've got some purple all around my flower. Now what I'm going to do is take my palette and I'm just going to dip the tip of my bristles into the white. And because it has purple already in there, I can actually add it over top of some of the purple, or I can just add a new stroke. And so now I'm starting to fill in the background, and you can see these different colors of purple starting to show up. If it gets too light, you can always go back to your first purple that we mixed that you put on there. Again, just twisting the brush in different directions. And short little strokes. I'm also going to dip just the tip of my bristles in the red, which is the red that we use to mix this purple. If it looks too bright, just keep working it in like that. Just keep working it in, and it'll just mix right back into a purple. If worse comes to worse, you could put a little blue over top of it if it's just like more maroon than you wanted, something like that. So what you're gonna do is basically go back and forth between your original purple, the white, and maybe some red and blue, just straight from your palette. And as we create these lighter shades of purple, it's called creating a tint when you add white to a color. I didn't add any white over here yet. Start to bring this towards the petals. But really, when we get right up to the petals, we're going to use the little brush. I can see some of this is starting to dry, so I'm going to try to The other thing you guys can do is go around the edge with the color. I'm not going to paint my edges because I don't want this to get too long. Right now, I'm actually using my big brush, but feel free to use your little brush to get right up against all those petals. If you cover one or two, it's fine. You can either put them back in or just not have quite as many. Also, if you have the other canvas that has the 2 sunflowers, the technique is exactly the same. That's what I'm just doing one for time's sake, but the directions are exactly the same. Also guys, since these are meant to hang together, I should have said this at the beginning, you may want to make your purple together and then start to add it, at least start with the same base color and then add the white, red, blue to make variations on each of your canvases separately, but at least start with the same base color purple on both of the canvases. Honestly though, they look better hanging together, but this one really you could hang just on its own. It's really pretty. Just trying some blue in there too. All right, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on that because I don't want this to get too long, but you can keep working on it until you're happy with it. And then you're gonna wanna let it dry, because what we don't wanna do is have yellow come right up against purple, because that's gonna make brown. And the only place we want brown is in the center of the flower, not around the petals. Oh, if you also want just a little bit of white here and there, you don't have to work it all in. You could actually just let there be sort of a streak of white here and there. All right, once you're completely done with the purple, I'm gonna rinse my brush really well, and we're gonna mix 3 different colors of yellow and orange for the petals. Okay, so make sure you get all that purple out of the brush. You wanna touch the bottom of your cup and stir. You don't have to press too hard, but you do want to touch the bottom of the cup. Okay. And then tap it off on your napkin. I usually use the big brush to mix. So I'm gonna take a scoop of yellow, and I'm actually gonna make 2 piles right now. Then I'm gonna put a little bit of white into one. That's gonna be my light yellow color. That's gonna be for the center. And then I'm gonna put just a little bit of red into the other pile, and I just want it like a pumpkin orange. Actually, that's pretty good. You may want to mix a big pile of this because you're going to be using this for all of the petals. Okay, we're going to take a little of this off to the side, and I'm going to put a little bit more red in there. Remember, a little red goes a long way, so you don't need a ton. And that's going to be for outlining the petals. Just try to, when you're mixing, push it all to the center so you have a bit of a pile to use. Okay, because this has that reddish orange, I'm actually gonna rinse my brush because I wanna start with the medium orange. Okay, I didn't get all of it out. As long as you get most of that red out, I'm gonna put just a little bit of white in here just to tone it down. It also is a little bit streaky. If you don't put the white in, you don't have to put the white in though. Whatever colors you want to use for the petals are fine. Let's see how this looks. A lot of times you want to just dab up there and see if you like it. So I like that color. So I'm going to fill in some of these petals. We're going to work in sections because this is one that we're blending. And sorry about the dog. So let's just do like 4 petals right now, okay? Then I'm going to take my little brush. You can use the little brush for all of the petals if you want. I just started out with the big one. And I'm going to outline with the dark red. Okay, and if you want, you can use your finger a little bit to blend it in so it doesn't look as much like a line. If it becomes completely dark, go back in with some of that pumpkin-y color. And then I'm gonna take that light yellow and just put it on the center. Okay. The other thing you may want to do is actually just use a little bit of white. So I have some of that dark color in my brush. I'm going to outline. then blend with my finger or the brush. Put some of that medium orange back in and some of that light yellow. Okay, and you're just gonna work on these petals until you're happy with them. If you wanna put a little bit of white in there, work a little bit of white in there too, just to lighten up some areas, you can definitely do that. And if it starts to look like all the same color again, go ahead and outline it. You may go back and forth between your colors here. Also, if you love that red-orange, you can make this a sunflower that's a darker orange. There's all different color sunflowers. If you prefer the sunflowers that sort of are yellow and brown instead of yellow and orange, you could use some of that red-brown here. All right, so that's what you're gonna do around the edge of the flower and also back here, okay? I'm not gonna do all of them just so that we don't make this too long, but you're gonna do that. You're gonna come all the way up to that line that is the line for the center, okay? All right, let's rinse our brush. We're gonna make that green. Okay. All right, same thing with the green. You guys have 2 mixing plates in the kit, so you're in better shape than I am right now. I need a little more space. All right. I'm gonna put a little bit of blue in there. This is gonna be my darkest green. And again, that's gonna be for outlining. Maybe a little more blue. Okay. And actually, because I have some of that green in my brush, I'm just gonna take it over. If you're mixing this from scratch, just put a little bit of blue in this yellow. Okay, so I've got the dark green for the outline, the light green for the center, or the main color, and then I'm also gonna use that yellow and white mixture that I have for the center. I'm gonna apply this with my little brush. Ooh. I just realized I put the, okay, come back up here. Sorry, that's green. This is orange. All right, so green. Let's try this leaf right here. I'm gonna put that dark color on the outer edge. The medium green towards the center. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of that yellow and white in there, just to vary the color. Medium green, dark on the edges. And then your mix, you don't want the dark to be an outline, so you do want to blend that a little bit. You just want some variation in color in the petals and the leaves. If things go completely off the rails for you, let it dry and then start again. Because once you get a lot of paint on there, trying to make variations is gonna be tough. All right, so that's the green. Take your time on that. You're gonna make these petals green too. Sorry about that. That was a bad little mess up. However, let's say you accidentally did all these petals orange. You can just paint over them with the green, as I'm showing here. All right, let's do the center. Okay, up until now, we've used brush strokes. Some of them have been shorter. But basically, we've always been painting. The center is going to be dabbing. So I'm going to rinse my brush. I, again, want 3 different colors. So I'm going to have the brown, you don't need a ton of this, so I'm gonna mix this with my little brush. I'm gonna have brown plus a little bit of white. And then I'm gonna have brown, and I'm gonna take some of that dark purple, and that's gonna be my darkest brown. It's almost as if you were adding black to it. Okay, so that's the darkest. Here's just our regular brown without anything in it, and then this is the lighter brown. So we're gonna go between those three colors and dab. All right. If you're doing this one, the center of the flower is towards the left. So this is gonna be the darkest part, and it's gonna be lighter as you come out. If you're using the canvas that has two sunflowers, then the one that's straight on, you can just put the darkest part in the center. And you're dabbing. See how I'm not jamming the brush on the canvas, but I am dabbing. So it can be nice and gentle. Here's that regular brown, and here's the lightest brown. And I'm just going back and forth between them. This is the dark color. I'm not rinsing my brush in between either. So you're gonna fill in the center. And this is a good way to clean up your edge. It does not need to be an exact line. So if you wanna go into your petals a little bit here, you can. I mean, don't go too far in. But your center can be a little bit bigger if you want it to be. Sunflowers have huge centers. So that's the lightest color. Here's the regular. And here's the darkest. And then, if you want to just go straight into that dark purple and add a little bit of dark purple here and there, it almost looks like you're adding black. It looks pretty cool. You don't have to do that, but if you want to, you can add some of that periodically. All right, my sunflower isn't complete, but it's definitely getting there, and we've given you all the basics. Oh, one more thing. If you want to do, for that lightest area, if you want to take white, you can just use straight white on your brush again, just the tip of the bristles, and just add that in. Just here and there. It'll give you just one more tint of that brown. And if you don't like it, just go back over it with one of the darker browns and it'll blend right in. All right, well, thanks for painting with us. Happy Mother's Day, have a great weekend. And if you have any requests for painting kits that you'd like us to do, just shoot us a message on Facebook, or you can email us at spiritedartsgranton@gmail.com.